Scouser.
Your overall emotion and mental state when you actually fact-checked it and realized it wasn't just crazy talk from Kazi and others in the Discord channel, that Mo Salah had really signed that extension.
Yeah, that was a weird one. I mean, I think it's like I'd emotionally prepared for so long for him to be gone that when it did happen, it was like there's like an abscess of emotion in a really strange, vacant, weird way. And it like almost took like hours for it to sort of sink in throughout the day. But yeah, great news. But yeah, it was a weird one for sure because not one I was prepared for. I mean, I figured if it was going to get done, it may get done closer to the January window once the season started as like some sort of weird concession on Mo's part. But I was prepared for him to go on a free. I thought like for sure he was just going to kind of wind this thing down. But I mean, obviously a great deal for us. Sounds like it was a great deal for Mo, so win-win.
And Timuchin, from your standpoint, when you heard the news, were you more surprised about the length of the deal, the fact that it seemed like he kind of conceded to the terms that they had been talking about, the $350,000 a week? Was it the money or the length of the contract?
Honestly, just the fact that it happened. I mean, I found out after driving bazillion hours from Chicago to North Carolina over here, and that was like the first thing I saw after finally like pulling in and kind of like sitting back, and there was like 85,000 notifications, and I see that I was like, nice. And I think that's what most Liverpool fans felt. It was like more relief than anything else. And the thing I like about it overall is, I think even if we end our transactions, I mean, there'll be some outgoings. I'm sure you guys will talk about it, but even if you don't bring anything else in, and this is how the transfer season ends, I think it puts a nice positive spin to it. Because you can debate that, we lost Mane, who obviously, if you look at the numbers, contributed a lot, goals, assists, and all that kind of stuff. But we have Nunez, we have Carvalho, so there's some things to be excited with. But you kind of have that cloud of the whole Mo Salah situation over the team and the club and the transfer market, the transfer talk overall. I think it's just a relief that with a strong win, that's kind of out of the picture, so everybody can focus on task on hand. Because, I mean, you guys know, that's the constant talk. It's the default talking point now. It was Coutinho for a while. Now we can go back to talking about Coutinho again, if he'll ever come back and stuff.
Oh, can't wait for that talk, Maybe we can get a little bring Genie back, right? And put Genie back in the bottle. I don't think there'd be room for him anyways. But Paul, talk to us a little bit about, what Timuchin talked about there with Mo staying, the importance it is for the club, the statement that it makes, and what it says to the rest of the players in that dressing room about where they're going and what they're building.
Well, I mean, I think it's important because it tells us that we can't hang on to our best players, right? I mean, I think that's the fear, is that we get to a point when we're not able to hang on to our best players and we can't offer competitive wage packages to our best players. And I think this is a win-win for both parties, because I think at the end of the day, I think Mo gets exactly what he wanted from a package standpoint in terms of the fact that he may not be hitting a baseline salary that he wanted, but I know for a fact that the incentives that are built in are probably achievable to the point where he's hitting, based off achievable incentives, the wages that he wants to hit. And it safeguards the club from shelling out on a baseline standpoint if something happens and we were to lose him for the year to an injury, or his performances to drop off significantly. It essentially saves the club and basically mitigates the risk while giving him something that he thinks is achievable. And so I think from an actual structural standpoint, it's a huge win for club ownership. And I think a lot of people are going to sit here and say, well, we broke our wage structure for him. I've seen that a lot, mostly from other people outside, people that aren't Liverpool supporters who say, yeah, the club broke their wage structure for Mo. And I don't see it that way at all, because I don't think our wage structure is don't put players on high wages. It's that you only put elite talent on high wages on their last contract. And that's essentially what we did. And we did it with a mitigated risk. We didn't put it on a long-term deal. We put it on an incentive-based contract with a 3-year deal, which I think is like, I just think it's a super smart move on our end. And it's great that we got Mo on board. And I think the difference between Mo and Sadio, a lot of people are saying, well, we saved this money for Mo. It was either Mo or Sadio. And I don't believe that. I don't believe it was one or the other. I mean, you can say we were never going to have 2 30-year-old attackers on huge wages. But I think the key difference was that the decision was made for the club because one wanted to stay and one was asking for things he knew he wasn't going to get and made it pretty clear he wanted to be elsewhere.